Alright, hello guys, it's UnsungNPC back here with another follower companion respec video for you. Today we're taking a look at Octavia. I think Octavia is one of the more fun ones to respec. So I'm kind of excited to show you guys what I do for her, and maybe you guys like my ideas, maybe you guys have ideas of your own, we'll see. So for Octavia, she starts out as a rogue and wizard, right? And she's kind of built to become the arcane trickster, sneak attacker girl, which is pretty cool, pretty strong. And that's definitely a way to go about it. And if you want to keep that kind of build, I think that wizard and rogue is the optimal for going into arcane trickster. Don't do any weird wizard archetype because you're not going to get those powers anyway. Or rogue, same with rogue, just pretty much take your normal stuff because all of your actual stuff is going to come from arcane trickster that way instead. If you use the touch of magic mod, arcane archer would be a cool one to do as well if you want to combine wizard with rogue and focus on bows, and do some like magic arrow sneak attack stuff. That could be cool. Or maybe you want to try wizard and then just do like fighter archer or something to keep it simple. Whatever suits you. But definitely arcane archer could totally work for her. If you do, I would focus on short bows because I think there are a lot of short bows that kind of lend themselves better to like backup archers, because all the good longbows are composite longbows, and they're most of the good short bows are composite ones, so maybe make her strength 10 anyway, but there are better people to take the longbows, so I would just stick with the short bows for her if you do it. They're also lighter, so okay. Oh, sorry. So what I like to do though is I love using her as a regent, and I know that like everyone hates the idea of like building for the sake of kingdom advisor roles. A lot of people don't even use the kingdom mode like I do. I personally love it. I love choosing advisors, hearing what they have to say, that kind of stuff. Not everyone does, and that's totally cool. We're trying to go into both categories here. If you love the kingdom advisor stuff and maybe you want to use her as an advisor, I think it works perfectly because honestly, I think she's more charismatic than she is intelligent anyway. Like the fact that she's like a higher intelligence character is weird to me because intelligence doesn't seem like her prevalent trait. Like to me, charisma is like her thing, right? She's like flirtatious and tries to sleep with everybody, and like seek that kind of connection with everyone. She's a very connection person, and I think charisma lends itself better to that than intelligence does. Given that, I feel like Arcanist could be really cool. You can do intelligence and charisma, like a wombo combo there. So I really enjoy Arcanist for that reason. Arcanist, Arcanist, however you say it, doesn't really matter. If you do that for her, just the base Arcanist would be good. Unlettered Arcanist, where she like stores spells as whispered secrets within familiars, would be good. Or spell specialist would also be good. I wouldn't take any of the others because I don't feel like they fit roleplay wise. She doesn't have a bloodline. She didn't study magic the same way as everyone else did. She did learn magic from someone during her slavery, but she pretended, like she tells you that she pretended to like not know how to do anything. So I feel like the unlettered Arcanist works really good because of that. Like stored secrets, like here's how I can do magic, but not actually doing it for the slave owners, because that's how she did it. An interesting one, occultist, right? Occultist. The Silk Sworn. The Silk Sworn is a charisma occultist, basically, which is awesome. They use intelligence and charisma, which is really cool. So you can kind of focus on both, but it talks about like flashy garb and fashion and stuff being powerful, and I feel like that really works for her because she likes to like look presentable and really like, you know, doll herself up and stuff, and I feel like that could tie into her character really well. I have found this one to be the most thematic for her character, in my opinion, out of all the classes from the base game and Call of the Wild. I'm using her as an unlettered Arcanist right now in an off-screen playthrough because I've done her as a Silksworn before, but Silksworn's kind of cool. If you just want like a generic one, going back to Spell Specialist, I think is really strong because you get to choose a spell which increases DC 4, and also you get this thing called Spellbender. So like she focuses on DC spells, so she can focus on like AoE elemental spells like evocation magic, and when you do that and take Spellbender, the spells won't hit your party members, so they'll hit everyone in the area except your party members, which is really, really powerful. I think this is like the most powerful one that I've played with for her. Unlettered Arcanist is okay. Silksworn Occultist I think is really, really fun. Like I said, especially if you're going for that Regent angle there. If you're still doing the sneaky, like I said, Rogue and Wizard into Arcane Trickster. If you want to mess around with Arcane Archer, that could also be pretty powerful. Honestly, she could even be a Witch. I know Witch is kind of like you have like a patron of some kind. She could have a patron. I mean, maybe she doesn't talk about it. Maybe she has a patron that she got whenever she was in slavery to make her more powerful in case she ever needed it in defense against her owners or something like that. I don't know. There's lots of ways you could spin it lore and roleplay wise. But I think those are interesting, for sure. She and Ragongar also kind of worship Calistria, but I don't think either of them worships them enough to become like a religious class. So I definitely wouldn't make them a religious class. Honestly, I could also see her as like maybe a bard or a skald. I don't know, you've got like, you know, Red Tongue. She's like, you know, dominated by swaying emotions in the moment and wielding magic in the shadows. That could be kind of cool. You know, Urban Skald could be kind of interesting, you know, mocking, because she and Ragongar are kind of like the mocker people, you know, they mock people in conversations, so she could be like Urban Skald kind of thing. That could be very interesting as well. And also pair well with Ragongar if you make him any like raging class, like Blood Rager, Scion, Magus, like I do, then Urban Skald, you could have him then rage, and then he would get his powers from his rage, as well as the benefits of the song that causes him to rage, which is kind of cool. So that's pretty interesting stuff. If she is a rogue, and maybe you want to make her pure rogue, maybe like go with the whole, oh, she didn't want to learn magic because she didn't want to seem as powerful angle. You can make her like an Eldritch Scoundrel. You could also make her a Rake. A Rake is someone with some bravado, can be very persuasive, a good charisma rogue. I don't think she fits it completely, but I think there's some potential there to kind of mess around with it, have fun with it. Probably not any psychic class. I mean, no one in the game is known to be psychic, so it'd be weird to do that. Investigator could be interesting because she is like hunting down the Technic League. Like that's one of her aspirations, is to hunt down the Technic League. So maybe like the Jinye way, she wouldn't fit them completely like lore wise, but she is trying to eliminate evil in a sense. Questioner, maybe regular investigator, scavenger, maybe, I don't know. Some of those are kind of like a stretch, but they could be fun to play with. I feel like you kind of have to think about what really fits her character lore-wise and roleplay-wise, and what can she do. So I think those are all valid options, really, that you could have fun with. Like I said, Arcane Trickster, Arcane Archer, those are the prime prestige classes to take her into if you really want to take her into a prestige class. I really like messing around with her. I feel like there's a lot she can do, because she doesn't really talk about any particular skill set that like defines her in the same way that like Valerie does, or Lindsay does, or Ekin does. So she can kind of do like a bunch of different things, which is really cool and interesting. But like I said, this is my take just from like a lore roleplay perspective, and also from the perspective of like, I use mods. All right, I use Call of the Wild, I use A Touch of Magic, so I have access to these classes. A lot of my suggestions for her are not in the base game. Like in the base game, I find it hard to find like anything that really fits her lore wise, to be honest. Like maybe just like a regular wizard who is a scroll savant. Maybe she's not good at like full magic, but good at doing magic from scrolls and role playing that kind of. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like you get so many more options when you use the mods, so I use them. But whether you use the mods or not, whether you're a newbie at this game or an expert player at this game, I hope that something that I've said here has kind of like inspired you, maybe given you an idea that even I didn't say, maybe, that could like, figure out what you want to do for Octavia. I think she's a fun character to have around. So hopefully that this video has been helpful to you or inspired something. If you come up with an idea that I haven't seen yet, I would love to hear about it. So please stick it in the comments, and let me know what you've come up with. I'm very curious. I've got some comments on some past respec guides that I think have been pretty interesting discussions, so I'd love to see what you have to say, what you've come up with yourself. So yeah, if this video was helpful for you, give it a like. I think that'd be pretty nice, pretty cool. If you enjoyed this video, the other respec guides, any other guides that I have, my Pathfinder Kingmaker Let's Play series that's on here, or you want to see me stream or keep up to date on anything, hit that subscribe button, and chill with us, vibe with us. Stick around, have some fun, talk about games. I mostly do RPGs, so if you kind of like all this RPG stuff, then hang out. Yeah. Cool. Other than that, I am UnsungNPC, and I will see you in the next one.